Be me. Out driving on the road at 3 a.m. I am driving in my Chevy Impala from 2010. I am not even going to lie. It's in a complete state of disrepair. I did not look after this thing at all. Anyway, I am driving on the interstate. I'm really tired, but I need to make it back home. I am traveling across states to get back to my GF's house. I was visiting family for a week, and so was returning late on after all of that. I'm heading down a pretty rural and desolate stretch of highway. The road is completely dead empty. Zero, zip, nada. I'm talking absolutely nothing for miles. I have my cruise control on because my foot was starting to cramp up after so many hours of driving. My eyelids are just very barely staying open, and I can feel them drooping every now and again. I had chugged some energy drinks on my most recent stop, so I'm basically just waiting for them to kick in. I can't wait to feel that sweet, sweet caffeine. I also have low music on, just to give me something to focus on. Helps to stave off the boredom and sleep at the same time. Again, I'm just cruising like this, when I start to see something just up ahead in my headlights. It's quite a distance away, so it just looks kinda like a blob. It is almost certainly moving though. Whatever it is, the thing is moving through the breakdown lane at a steady pace. It's definitely not a vehicle from what I can see though. It is much too small to be any kind of vehicle. I start to get closer and closer until I can eventually make out more details of the blob. Okay, yeah, 100% not a car or a bike. It's a fucking guy. He is just running on foot in the fucking breakdown lane. My thoughts instantly jump to, oh shit, is this person okay? Are they running from someone or something? Yeah, okay, maybe I'm a little bit naive. But if you saw what I saw, you might also assume the same thing. The guy had completely tattered clothes. His shirt looked shredded and was barely clinging by its threads. Shit looked like Goku's shirt after fighting Frieza. He was also completely barefoot. Barefoot, and he must have been running for quite a while in the breakdown lane on this rough and fucked up tarmac. The guy's feet must have felt on fire. He was also wearing a pair of ragged jeans. But yeah, no flashlight, no reflective gear, barely a shirt and a pair of jeans on, and barefoot on the fucking highway. He's not even jogging either. This dude looks to be in a full sprint, and he has not broken it even once in the few minutes that I have been watching him. He has not slowed down once, or even broken a sweat. You know how insane you have to be able to do that, and not even slightly alter your pace. Even professional distance runners would not be able to hold a candle to this guy. It weirded me the fuck out, but again, I thought, damn, this dude must have some crazy adrenaline and be running from someone or something. I mean, adrenaline can give you temporary superpowers. But yeah, just minutes of unbroken sprinting. I speed up my car a little until I get closer and closer to the guy. He is also running in a dead straight line. He has not shifted so much as an inch to the left or right while running. I could feel the pain in his feet just looking at him. His feet were not torn up and bloody or anything though, at least not from what I could see. It was dark as fuck though, and I was not exactly inspecting them. I have now almost pulled up alongside this guy, and he has not even glanced back at me. My headlights are directly on him, practically shoved up his ass, and he still does not look or stop or change pace. I say fuck it, and pull up alongside him, and then stick cruise control back on. After that I roll down my windows so that I can talk to the guy. I lean out and shout things like, hey, dude, are you okay? Dude, what happened? Is someone after you? Do you want me to call the police? Dude, I can help. It's not safe to be running out here. But again, he just ignores me and does not say a word back to me. He just keeps looking ahead and running. I shout hey really loudly one last time, just to say I tried. And I shit you not, his fucking head snaps to face me in an instant. He does this without changing pace or stopping at all. He just keeps running forward with his head facing me. This guy is insanely pale and malnourished. Getting a closer look at him now, I wasn't thinking he was running scared anymore. I was thinking, oh great, it's a fucking crackhead. I mean, His veins on his arms and hands were bulging out like crazy. They were massive, and I had never seen veins like that before. I was thinking he must be on some kind of drugs. I instantly start to get really nervous because I'm worried I've interrupted his drug-fueled nighttime run. If you know about crackheads, you know you don't ever want to get on their bad side or enrage them. I really did not want a raging crackhead after me, even if I was in a vehicle. I say fuck it. This guy clearly does not want or need my help, so I pull ahead of him and leave him in the dust. I'm just driving at a normal speed now, just trying to put it out of my mind. Cruise control back on. I'm just trying to relax. It's hard to now though. My sleepiness is now almost entirely gone because of that weirdo, and I guess the caffeine had kicked in hard too. Since I can't really relax, I decide to check my rearview mirror again, just to put myself at ease. The guy is still going and has not stopped. He is still staring straight ahead. I think, whatever, in a few seconds, he will be out of my view forever. But I keep glancing back, and this guy is not fucking disappearing. He is more than keeping pace to stay in view, which is fucking impossible. There is no way even a crackhead could run that quickly for that amount of time. I think maybe I'm hallucinating or out of it, and that I just need to focus. The tiredness is just making me see things, but I cannot stop myself from glancing back every so often. And I notice something horrible. This guy is starting to catch up to my vehicle. That is just not possible. Not even for someone on drugs with no inhibitions or feelings, even if he's fueled by adrenaline too. I don't want to accelerate any faster because it is dark, and I am still worried about being tired and do not want to risk crashing into someone. I turn around again, but I can't see the guy. I think the hallucinations are finally gone. But then, I hear a loud thump. That was all I needed to hear to send me into a spiraling panic. I looked in my mirror, and I could see that this motherfucker has now leapt onto the back of my car. He is on the boot of my car, clinging on for dear life. He is gripping with all of his might, with his feet barely off of the ground, the way he is hanging. He manages to pull himself up slightly, to the point that he is clinging on a bit higher up, and more like a frog would be. He is breathing heavily, and I can tell because he is fogging up the glass of my rear windshield, something crazy. And then he just starts licking the fucking windshield. He is just licking up and down, nearly the entire windshield. I press the button to fire wiper fluid at my rear windshield, and this fucker starts trying to drink it like a dog with a hose. And then he pulls the fucking wiper off of my car. I was hesitating to swerve, because I didn't want to be responsible for maybe killing someone. But at that point, I knew I had no choice. He was never gonna get off, and even if I stopped at a truck stop with him still on the back, he might just attack me. Plus, he had pissed me off by now. I did not want to have to pay for the damage he was causing. So I started swerving suddenly and violently while he was distracted and trying to fucking eat the windshield wiper. Dude was practically deep throating that shit. All it took was one swerve to send him absolutely flying off of my car. I saw him hit the ground and roll, and it looked painful as fuck. Even on whatever crazy concoction he was on, that shit must have hurt. But then I start panicking, because he is not getting up. He is just laid there completely still, barely off the side of the highway. I don't even stop, because I am in pure flight mode. I floor it to the closest gas station, and do not stop until then. When I finally get there and calm myself down enough, I call the police. I tell them exactly everything that happened, and that I was scared for my life. I told them I was scared he would try to kill me if I did not get him off of my car. The operator on the line is understanding, and I am told they will go and check it out. They tell me to sit tight at my location, and that an officer will be out to speak to me soon. A cop car swings by maybe 30 or 40 minutes later. The cop takes my statement and all that stuff, yada yada. Tells me they never found the guy, that he must have gotten up and ran off. They did not find him anywhere along that stretch of highway for miles. Said they saw no trace of blood or anything like that in the area. There were no signs anyone was injured or any trace of the guy. My only question is, What kind of drug makes someone a fucking superhuman like that? I live and attend college in a small mountain town in Colorado. I often go home to see family, as most of them live in Texas. In order to get home, I have to make most of my drive through New Mexico. Specifically, I have to go through Santa Fe and about 160 miles through the Mexico desert. On this particular drive, I had 3 other people with me. My younger sister, who I will call A, and 2 friends from school, B and C. It was our spring break, and instead of buying plane tickets, we decided to pile into my little Mercury Mariner and book it back to Texas. Unfortunately, we left the valley a little later than intended because I left my wallet. By the time we hit the stretch of desert, it was close to 1 a.m. It had been raining since before we headed through Santa Fe. Not super heavy, but heavy enough. It was 65 degrees. I remember that quite clearly because I'd been in negatives for quite a while due to where I go to school. I was just pleased to see something over 5 degrees. I had not been driving that long. I was awake. I did not hallucinate this, and I damn sure was not the only one who saw it. We passed a white Prius. As he was driving away, I looked in my rearview mirror and saw something crossing the road, caught in the red glow of the taillights. It was walking with a horrible limp and dragging itself across the road on 2 legs. The motions were unnatural, jerky even. I slammed on my brakes, thinking someone had driven off the road and was stuck or injured. I slid to a stop about 20 feet away from it. The Prius had stopped as well, seeing the person in the road. I opened my door and stuck my head out in the rain to get a better view. It wasn't human. It stopped, its figure illuminated by the taillights of both of our cars. It had to have been at least 7 feet tall, possibly 8. The skin was stretched like a too small shirt, cracking, hanging off its frame in long, bloody ribbons. The jaw was almost totally unhinged from its face. The cheekbones were gaunt and disgusting. The skin on the scalp was thin, and spots of bloody white stuck out. And the smell, Jesus, I had never smelled anything like that. As soon as I opened the door, it hit me. Rotting flesh, meat that had been left out for months, rotten milk. The Prius took off, but I stayed. Fight or flight had not kicked in yet for me. This thing could not have been more than 20 feet away. It slowly turned its head, each vertebra in the neck individually cracking like fucking bubble wrap. We made eye contact, but it had no eyes, only darkness where I should be. I slammed my car door, shut, and sped off. At this point, my friends had all awoken and seen it. B was in the back and hysterical. C was just silent. My sister just sat with a look of horror, tears silently streaming down her face. My friend kept screaming, "What the fuck was that? What the fuck was that?" I did not know what to tell her. I just kept driving, my hands gripping the wheel as we broke 80. Then something happened that I still to this day could not explain. The temperature had dropped during the whole event. It was 30 degrees out. It had been 65 degrees no more than 5 minutes ago. It then began to snow. Hard, heavy, wet snow. We ended up pulling over at a gas station called Klein's Corner. No one moved. A was crying, B was praying, C was cursing, and I was shaking violently. "What the fuck just happened?" C said, all color drained from her face. I looked at her and just told her, "I don't know, I don't want to know, but we need to leave." I slowly put the car into drive and continued our trip. The rest of the drive was unmemorable. Hey, hope you've enjoyed the story so far. If you want to hear more, make sure to subscribe, like the video, and leave a comment because it lets YouTube know you like the content and helps more people to see these videos. My next big goal for the channel is 100,000 subscribers, and as a celebration, I will be doing a Q&A video once we hit that goal. Thank you, and back to the stories. Okay, this one happened a long time ago. I don't think about it much anymore. It's just a distant memory that, in time, will only get more distant. 6 years ago, I am 21 years old. It is nighttime, around 10ish p.m. I am out of town. I am driving from Alabama to my GF's house in Tallahassee. I'm completely alone. I'm driving my parents' V6 Taurus, a very irregular car, but sport PKG and capable enough for most situations. I had talked to my GF a few hours earlier. I told her I would be coming late and that she should probably go straight to bed, so don't wait up or anything. After about maybe 45 to 70 miles from my 10, it's hard to remember, and after it happened, I really did not want to think about it much. The visibility starts to lower. There is a light fog picking up in a rather hilly area. The terrain drops off rather steep, at least to the right of the road that I can see, so I am starting to go a little slower. I am being more aware of my surroundings. I get a bad feeling. Not a scared feeling or necessarily worried, just a deep, uneasy feeling. I see something and I think, oh my god, what the hell is behind me? I am staring in the rearview mirror and I see a lanky, humanoid figure in the middle of the road behind me, where I was just driving through. The thing is not moving. It's just kind of hanging out, non-threatening. The thing is right in front of me. I got too caught looking at that thing behind me and was not paying attention, and I swear, I see the same lanky figure right in front of me, and I'm about to run it right over. Lock up brakes. I start to pull my e-brake, and my car pulls left, sliding. Most days when I think about this, I am able to tell myself that this figure, just skimmed the tip of my bumper, and it is sheer luck that I did not collide with it. But every so often, I get on an X-kick and start to remember that ever so vivid vision of that figure slicing right through the hood, through the engine block of Mom and Pop's old Ford. I am almost 180 degrees turned around now. The car has come to a stop. My mind is racing, and my heart is going even faster. For starters, if I need to call an ambulance, I don't even know where I am, and I had not seen anything in miles. There were not even any other cars around. I want to get out and see if this guy/thing is okay. That's a logical and responsible action. But I am just about paralyzed with fear and adrenaline, and now I could see it. My driver's side headlight is just illuminating this man. He is wearing a long tight shirt. In my head, it reminds me of like a pirate costume shirt, but I don't know. Long arms, long legs, long neck, accentuated by an oversized collar. It starts tilting head sideways like a confused dog does, and I just start to think it's some asshole being a jokester when the figure gets bigger, like closer or taller, but it's not moving, it's just gaining. Nope.system. Pop the glove box to retrieve nickel .45 of Liberty. It's not there. The goddamn piece is not there. I am immediately in tears, shock, literally shouting in my car in amazement/despair, with probably a little bit of subconsciously trying to make noise to maybe scare this thing away. I am jumping all around in my seat. I mean, I was very seriously going nuts, freaking out right there in the middle of the road. My left hemisphere takes control. I drop transmission into reverse and peel right on out. At this point, I am technically looking forward, but my eyes are fixated on the rear view, like tunnel vision, not letting myself look where I was just looking seconds ago. The car is maxing out at about 29 miles per hour in reverse, and I cut the wheel like a bat out of hell. I don't know how I did it, but I swung the car proper and got into D so fast I surprised myself. The car got a little off the road, and there was only another 2 to 4 feet until the 15-foot plus drop into a ditch that would easily total the car and quite possibly kill me. But I made it. I did not look back. I just shut it out and went. During the turn, I heard a familiar thud from the glove, and after I started decelerating a few miles later and peeled my white-knuckled hand off the wheel, I checked and sure enough, the .45 was in there. The only other thing was some napkins and a little envelope containing car documents. I have no idea how I could not have seen it before when I looked. I was just thankful and relieved that yes, it was there now, and I somehow escaped whatever sure death was only a few minutes prior. The fog lightened up, but I was definitely still spooked, and really in no condition to do shit. All I wanted to do was just be in bed with my GF, but as soon as I found some civilization, I pulled into a lit parking lot of a grocery market. I was starting to see cars sporadically on the road and feeling more safe. I climbed into the back seat of the car with my piece and covered myself in my jacket. I nodded out. No bad dreams or anything. I woke up to a sunny day and felt so much better, like everything was a-okay. I made it to my GF's house before lunch. I told her I almost got into an accident and had to pull over. I admitted all of the spooky parts. We would eventually break up, so she never heard the real story, and now she never will. Be me. I am driving through Arizona on the I-40, going coast to coast with 4 friends for winter break. It's mid-December. It must be around 2 a.m. I'm starting to get a little drowsy. Suddenly, radio reception gets weird. Not staticky. More like it was picking up a bunch of channels at the same time. Sounded like 20 different people having different conversations. Suddenly, headlights start reflecting off of something in the distance. Looks like 2 birch trees in the middle of the road. I can't see the top of what it was. Everything is pitch black outside of headlight range. I get closer. It's a pair of legs extending into the sky. They are colorless, completely white. I don't know what to do. I am the only one awake. I honk the horn. They move. The legs lift up in a stepping manner and go off to the left side of the road. I am still driving, crying out of fear, my radio still freaking out. I speed up, driving well over the speed limit for about an hour until I reach a gas station. I wake everyone up and tell them what happened. They all laugh it off and don't believe me. I get out to fill the car while friends go in for snacks/bathroom. Go to open gas cap when I see something on the roof. 2 red footprints. I refuse to drive at night for the rest of the trip, showing my friends the footprints. Radio in the car was broken. Had to buy a new one. I never drive past 11 o'clock these days, unless it's an emergency. This happened to me about a year ago, when I was 26 years old. I am from Mississippi. I am driving from the college I graduated from. I left at about 2 a.m. in the morning on a weeknight. It's a really hot night, about 85 degrees. The highways are pretty much dead, with no one on them. I am making about a 2-hour and 30-minute drive. You don't want to drive too fast for fear of deer crossing. I only travel 3 highways the whole trip. The first one is out in the middle of the sticks. When I say sticks, I mean like old Native American territory, nothing around for a good 30 to 45 minutes. It's in Natchez County. I am driving on a long straight line for about 45 minutes. All of a sudden, a tall white girl in a wedding dress runs across the highway with inhuman-like speed. Huge what the fuck because of her speed, and she was super pale, like unhealthy white. It was all of a sudden very cold. I slow down and pull over. I get the 18-round 9mm pistol from my vehicle. I get out of the car. I leave the vehicle door open with the keys still in the ignition. I turn my music all the way off. I walk a little parallel to the side of my door, kinda in the middle part of the lane. It's still freezing cold, but I have my gun at the ready. I start yelling, "Hello? Are you still around? Do you need help?" Just dead silence, with the coldness, and it's getting colder too. I see a fog in the distance getting closer, which I deemed unusual because there was no rain the whole week. It is getting colder and colder as this fog gets closer. I start getting chill bumps at this point, getting them now as I type this. I decided it was time to leave at this point. I gassed it the fuck out. Hell with it. I got one more. Not really ghost related, but still a very nope story. This happened on the exact same highway as the one before. I am alone again. I am driving the boring drive, just blasting music. I see a broken down vehicle on the road with someone at the vehicle. It looked like they were trying to change a tire or something. The vehicle was broken down. I slow down too and get next to the person. I pull the window down halfway and ask if he needs any help. He looks at me and immediately starts to try and open my locked door. At this point I gas it again, getting the fuck out of there. I look back at my rearview window. I saw 3 to 4 people come out of the woods next to the guy by the vehicle. Needless to say, watch your ass on empty highways, especially in Mississippi. Be me, at about 15 years old. The year is 2008. I am driving with my dad through the outback. Driving through the Plenty/Donahue Highway, between the Stewart Highway in the Northern Territory and Boulia in Western Queensland. 700 kilometers of unsealed road. We see no one but a few trucks, maybe 3 in total the whole time. We blew 2 tires about 450 kilometers in and did not have any more spares, so had to drop our speed by a lot just to be safe. As a result, it ended up taking much longer to drive the length of this road than we otherwise would have. For background, there is a myth/legend in the Boulia area of this so-called Min light that harasses and follows travelers and tries to entice them to leave the road at night and follow the light out into the desert. We'd traveled in the area plenty of times before and had never seen it, so we weren't really thinking about it. It's about 8:30 p.m. at this point. It's pretty dark. The night sky out there was amazing, by the way. Any Australians here, I highly recommend. We are driving along at about 50 to 60 kilometers an hour to prevent any risk of another tire blowing. A light flashes in front of us like a shooting star, but right in front of the windshield. Dad and I are like, what the fuck, but we keep on driving. It happens a few more times. They start to hang around a bit longer each time. At one point, it hovered in front of us for about 30 seconds. Must be the Min, my dad says. I am feeling a little bit on edge because a light appearing out of nowhere and hovering in front of the car is freaky as fuck. My dad does not give a fuck. He starts making verbal challenges to the light. He challenges the light to try and lead him off the road. The light disappears. It appears again about 15 minutes later and hovers in front of the car again. My dad stops the car and gets out. The light starts moving off the road and stops about 10 meters off the road and just hovers there. My dad starts challenging the light again. Is that the best you've got? He picks up a rock and throws it at the light. All the while I'm sitting in the car, not knowing whether to shit myself with fear or piss myself laughing at my dad fighting with a light. After a few seconds, the light disappears. At this point we're pretty hungry, so we stay there for about half an hour and make something to eat. Every 5 minutes, my dad starts yelling out for the light. Bring it on, I'm waiting. The light never comes back the whole time back. TLDR, my dad had a fight with a paranormal light and won. Be me, last year. Little background. I drive for the railroad company out in the PNW all over Washington state. I drive the conductors and train staff to their hotel or next train or wherever really, because their trains are usually in bumfuck nowhere. I'm based in Spokane, but I got a call to Whitefish, Montana. It's a good fucking run, but can be a 15+ hour drive. Lots of deep woods, back roads, desolate areas. Beginning of the winter, it's kinda cold out. You can see your breath sort of shit, you know? Just made it out of the panhandle of Idaho. I am on a dark freeway, literally no one on the road but me. I start seeing roadkill on the side of the road. I mean, no biggie, it happens. But there is an awful lot of it. I can count 2 or 3 deer, a few small animals like skunks, squirrels, and raccoons too. I slow down and put on my high beams. I am afraid one of the carcasses might be in the middle of the road. Keep in mind, I'm driving a big-ass SUV. I see another deer on the side of the road. I slow down even more. That does not look like roadkill. The flesh looks torn up by some animal or something with claws. There is steam coming out from the wounds, like it's fresh. Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, oh my god. I start shitting myself. I speed up. I really just want to get back to civilization. A little ways down the road, the roadkill starts to die off. Only small animals here and there. What happens next? I remember so vividly. I still think about it every time I go on a whitefish run. There was a deer, legs kicking and still alive, sort of. I swear to God, there was a creature bent down over the carcass, just digging at the deer's abdomen. It's feeding. Oh my God. I stopped to watch it. This thing looks so fucking unnatural. It moves in jerky movements. It's all pale white with patches of yellow, long ass limbs. I slam my foot on the gas. I don't care if I'm hallucinating. I just need to get away from that thing. As my headlights sweep past, the creature's head snaps up. Its face, if you can even call it that, is just hollow pits where the eyes should be, and a mouth that stretches too wide, too dark. For a second, it just stares at me, frozen mid-movement, like I was not supposed to see it. Then it moves. Not like an animal, not even like a person. It just jerks, like a puppet being yanked on invisible strings. My heart is slamming against my ribs. I am already doing 60/70. Too fast for this winding road, but I swear, I hear something behind me. That awful skittering sound, like something running on too many limbs. I do not dare look in the mirror. I do not slow down until I see the first flickering lights of a truck stop miles down the road. I pull in, shaking, and just sit there gripping the wheel until my hands stop trembling. Before I get out, I finally look in the rearview mirror. There is nothing behind me but the empty highway. But the roadkill, it is all gone.